Welcome to week 15 of this NFL regular season. It is Ravens Giants. That's what we're gearing up for right now. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff just over 40 minutes away from the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Welcome inside the channel. I'm Bobby Trosset, and as always, this is where I bring you Baltimore sports and beyond. It is Sunday, December 15th, and finally, Ravens football is back, coming off the bye where they have been very, very successful and elite in the John Harbaugh era, in the Lamar Jackson era, and really all time throughout Ravens franchise history. For Baltimore, it's pretty simple. 8-5 right now, and while today feels like a get-right game, to me this is more about what begins today, and that is 3 games in 11 days, a stretch where this team will be tested, maybe not in terms of degree of difficulty with competition, in comparison to the beginning of the year, and it was a murderer's row, as we all know, right out of the gate for this team regular season-wise. But over the next 3 days, it is a war of attrition, and they will be tested, no question. It goes Giants, round 2 of the rivalry on Saturday in Baltimore against the Steelers, Christmas Day at Houston, and, of course, the regular season finale at home against the Cleveland Browns. They're trying to split that season series, of course, having dropped that game earlier on in the season against the Browns. And, of course, Jameis Winston, it was his first start of the year and after the whole Deshaun Watson saga took place. Today's live stream is brought to you by my friends at Primary Residential Mortgage. Happy holidays to you and yours. We are 10 days out from Christmas. We're smack dab in the holiday season, and we're halfway through the month of December. And December, there's something about it. It is a football month. I hope you and yours are enjoying the holiday season. And, the guest lines are open. Happy to have you here for pregame. Sarah and I, of course, as always, will be with you for postgame, typically around 5 o'clock or so. For 1 o'clock games, we will go live as soon as the press conferences finish up. Look, times are bleak right now in New York, the team that I grew up rooting for before I stripped my loyalty and got fully involved in broadcasting many moons ago. They are 2-11. Daniel Jones is no longer their quarterback. He's no longer even in the building. And because of an injury that Drew Lock is dealing with, Tommy DeVito, a.k.a. Tommy Cutlets, the Italian superstar, not necessarily a superstar, but he's been very entertaining and a fun thing for the Giants. Not necessarily this year. Tommy DeVito will be QB1, and make no mistake about it, this is a get-right game for the Ravens. They are currently 16.5-point favorites, road favorites, according to ESPN Bet. Baltimore is 44-1. That's a winning percentage of .978 all-time when being a double-digit favorite. That includes the postseason. It's the best winning percentage in the NFL since 1996, of course, the inception year for the Baltimore Ravens. Those notes calculated and tallied by Jamison Hensley. And again, when I say times are bleak right now in the New York era, I should say area when it comes to football, they are bleak. Make no mistake about it. Beat reporters on the scene catching this flyover just a short while ago. And if you missed it, I'll rewind. Dan Duggan of The Athletic. It's a flyover. And look at the banner. Mr. Mara, enough. We won't stop until you fire everyone. John Mara, of course, owner of the New York Giants. He has his own fan base paying for pregame flyovers back-to-back weeks, or at least a couple times within recent weeks, essentially saying they want to clean house. Look, if the Ravens drop this game, quite frankly, this is a fireable offense if you're John Harbaugh. You cannot lose this game. The Giants are a disaster. Brian Daboll and Joe Shane, this fan base wants their heads, even though that Daniel Jones wasn't even their hand-picked starting guy. They were brought in from Buffalo and inherited Daniel Jones. And ever since then, this team has really, really struggled, aside from the 2019 campaign, of course, when we all remember what happened then. I shouldn't say 2019. It was actually 2022 when Daniel Jones and the Giants beat the Ravens 24-20. And that was one of the most notable victories of the Brian Daboll era. So make no mistake, the seat is very hot in New York right now for Daboll and company, and the statistics show you why. They are banged up. They have a laundry list worth of injuries. A lot of practice squad guys playing with pride will be suiting up for the big blue G-men today. And look at where they rank offensively right now. By the way, they have not scored a touchdown in over 40 days. So they really struggle to put up points. They struggle to move the ball. They're going to be relying heavily on their defense today. 26th overall league-wide through 14 weeks in terms of total offense. To the 15th ranked rushing group at over 115 yards on the ground per game. 28th through the air. Just 185 and a half passing yards per game. They're 32nd dead last in scoring, guys. They're not even putting up 15 points per game on average. 24th on third down, 19th on fourth, and 32nd dead last in terms of red zone efficiency. The touchdown percentage, not great. They don't get there often whatsoever. And the Ravens have to exploit this team. They have to expose this team. They have to bully this team. And they have to run this team right out of their own building. You could get into this on the secondary market, by the way, for as little as $1. I know a lot of people hit the road, took trains, drove up to the Meadowlands to be a part of today, because why wouldn't you? You can get in the building for dirt cheap. Defensively for New York, they're the 16th overall group, 29 against the run, 141.7 they allow on average. They're the 6th ranked passing defense, 16 in terms of scoring, 15th on third down and fourth down, and 14th in terms of inside the 20s defending in the red zone. In terms of discipline, penalties, they're 19th overall with a 83 committed and 17 in terms of penalty yards negated with over 660. So that is your look at the Giants from a glance. It's struggle city for them right now. They're probably on deck for a significant rebuild. It feels as if they do that every other year. And yeah, it's pretty noisy. Very, very noisy around the New York area right now. And you're going to have guys that are simply playing for pride out there, and the Ravens have to take that pride away right away if they want to make sure a win is in the left-hand side of the win-loss column. And look at what they've done throughout the John Harbaugh era since 2008, coming off the bye. They have been utterly dominant, as I referenced earlier on. 13-3 to be exact in games that immediately follow the bye. That's a win percentage of .813, and it ranks as the NFL's second best in that category. Of course, only behind Mike Tomlin's Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 14-3 off the bye since 2008. That's a winning percentage of .824. And I'm expecting Lamar to take care of business today. As PFF BAL Ravens takes a look at, he ranks first in passing grade against single high coverage shells. That's a defense that the Giants utilize at the 5th highest rate in the NFL. This combination, of course, sets the stage for a productive outing, as PFF put it. And look, while this offense has struggled in recent weeks, here's the good news. This Ravens defense starting to round out into form over the last several weeks. Take a look at what they've done since week 11. Coming into today, here's where their defense ranks statistically in the following categories. In terms of total yards per game allowed, they rank second since week 11. I know we're only talking about, 11, 12, 13, 14, a 4-game sample size. But this is notable when you look at up against what they've done weeks 1 through 10. So they're second in terms of total yards per game over the last 4 weeks coming into week 15. They were 27th in that category the first 10 weeks of the season. They're first over the last 4 weeks in yards per play allowed. They were 27th the first 10 weeks. They're second over the last 4 weeks in passing yards per game. They were dead last, as we all know, through the first 10. And they're tied for 4th over the last month on third down. They were 30th through the first 10 weeks. So if you're looking for certain things to hold your hat on, if you're looking for areas of optimism, being that it was struggle city in the Philadelphia game, really, it came down to a lack of execution. A lot of this has been due to Justin Tucker's struggles. We'll get into that in just a bit. He's out on the field warming up as we speak, and beat reporters are sharing what's going on with him. By the way, Jeff Zarebek just noting a second ago that the Ravens starting offensive lineman in warmups is the same as it's been for a while now. Ronnie Stanley, left tackle. Patrick McCary, left guard. Tyler Linderbaum, center. Daniel Fa'alele, right guard. And, of course, rounded out by Roger Rosengarten at right tackle. So for those of you who are wondering if that would have been one of the changes potentially to come out of the bye that John Harbaugh would experiment with, not so much. Not so much at all. Look, Jordan Renan, ESPN for the Giants, tweeted this out earlier in the week, and I think it just speaks to where the Giants are right now organizationally. He tweeted, "Just watch the Giants struggle badly at practice during a red zone drill in the cold and heavy winds, 32 miles an hour. All 17 passes went incomplete. The weather's expected to be around 40 degrees with winds up to 11 miles per hour today. A chilly New York, New Jersey Sunday afternoon, midway through the month of December." But that just shows you, whether or not, this is a team that has really, really, really struggled. Let's go out to the guest lines. Justin, he might be up there. Let's see where Justin is right now. I can't tell based on the waiting room, but the guest lines are open. If you'd like to call in, you can do so by clicking on the link that I have included in the show notes. It's also as a pinned comment in the live chat. Justin, good to see you, brother. What's going on?
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Bobby! What's going on, fellas?
Yeah, boy. At the game, son.
I love it. Okay. Can you share with us what it cost you to get in each ticket?
It was like $50, like 40 something bucks. I mean, they added the fees on, but it's cheap. We're up here in the nosebleeds, but it's nice. I mean, we see the whole field, and it's a lot of purple here today. There's a ton of Ravens fans here.
Yeah. Now, so just in case you missed this on your way into the stadium, I assume that you saw the flyover with the banner that says "Fire Everybody"?
Yeah, my son was crying, laughing, watching that.
Listen, times are bleak right now in that stadium, in that area, for that fan base. The Ravens got to make sure they're even more bleak at the end of the day.
Yeah, we're hoping for it. We should put up 40 or 50 on them today, I hope, man. So, but I'll let you get back because I can barely hear you anyway. It's loud out here, but I just wanted the flock to see. We're out here representing in New York, maybe New Jersey, but you know how it is. Take it easy, Bobby.
It's awesome, man. Merry Christmas. Hope you guys have a great time out there. Enjoy yourselves. Later. The Hope Boys, man. I love it. They travel well. You got to love that. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Primary Residential Mortgage, and I've been working with PRMI for well over a year now, and they have been such trusted supporters of mine, loyal supporters of mine. They advertise on the show. They promote the channel, and obviously they're great at what they do as well. And so I would like you guys to know that with the holiday season being in full swing, you might be looking for a way to access extra cash for gifts and celebrations upcoming. If that's the case, I got a solution for you, and that is Primary Residential Mortgage's Cash Out Refinance, which lets you tap into your home's equity to access the funds you need for your holiday shopping and festivities. They're going to also cover your closing costs, up to $750 for applications that are submitted by February 9th of 2025. So if you want to get your home buying process started, if you want to ring in the new year and hit that kind of milestone, a great way to do so is clicking on the link that's at the top of the show notes to get started. Again, applications that are submitted by February 9th of 2025 will be eligible for up to $750 covered for closing costs. You can take advantage of the special offer by applying through the PRMI Mid-Atlantic website. Just mention my name as you go throughout your application process. All this information can be found by clicking on the link that's included in the top of the show notes below. As I always mention, even if you aren't interested but you want to help out the channel, simply click on that link. It helps out a lot, and I would love for you to go check out my landing page. You can reach out to PRMI today, make this holiday season even brighter. And again, thank you to PRMI, Michael and Naz and Zach and the tremendous team there in the Towson location for the continued support that they give me on a weekly basis. Let's get to the inactives and let's get to what this video is titled, and that is the Keaton Mitchell storyline right now. He's not the only player who will be inactive yet again. Sanusi Kane has been banged up in recent weeks. He will not go today. Marcus Williams, a healthy scratch. Keaton Mitchell, again, a healthy scratch. Adisa Isaac, a healthy scratch, the rookie out of Penn State, followed by Nick Samak, another rookie who's a reserve offensive lineman. This means, most importantly, that our Darius Washington, after not traveling to New York initially, this was initially and being listed as questionable due to a personal matter, he will play. He has made the trip. He walked into the stadium today. So Ardarius Washington, one of the starting deep safeties alongside Kyle Hamilton, who's been a key piece to turning this passing defense around, will play. The former undrafted rookie out of TCU has brought a certain level of calm to the back end of Zach Orr's secondary. So that is a good deal. That is a big deal for the Ravens defense, even though it probably won't be an issue today. I was just wondering what the heck went on. I'm sure John Harbaugh will field questions about that postgame, and due to it being a personal matter, he may not get into it. So let me just be the first to say I wish the Washington family and Ardarius himself the best if something is going on behind closed doors. So again, Marcus Williams is a healthy scratch, as is Keaton Mitchell. Now, Keaton, of course, is just a year removed from a pretty serious knee injury, as we remember in December of last year. I believe it was against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Keaton gave this team a spark that they so desperately needed a year ago. And with the acquisition and free agency that was, of course, Derrick Henry, there hasn't been a need per se for Keaton. There certainly hasn't been a need to rush him back. I think there continues to be this optimism and this hope and this anticipation, though, that he will break into the lineup at some point, particularly given his strengths from an explosiveness standpoint, from a speed standpoint, and the thunder and lightning kind of duo that he and Derrick Henry can present opposing defenses with. But being that Justice Hill has really established himself as not only a solid RB2, not only a solid blitz pickup or a special teamer, but just a guy that was worthy of an extension. That's exactly what they gave him prior to the year. So with that, Keaton Mitchell hasn't been a part of the equation. And for a second consecutive week, from a special teams perspective, right, Rasheen Ali, RB3, which is really just a special teams kind of role. He's the rookie out of Marshall that the Ravens used, I believe, in the 5th round, if I'm not mistaken, this past April. He gets the call over Keaton. Now, Keaton's believed to be healthy. This doesn't appear to be any kind of physical setback. It's solely based on special teams. As Keaton told reporters this week, he is feeling a little antsy about his diminished role. This is courtesy of Fox 45 and my former coworker, Morgan Adsit. Listen to this.
Crucial for everybody. I'm just coming here every day, putting in the work, just trying to be available for the team, and just trying to be able to be that spark for the team. And whenever they feel like they want to throw me out there, I would just make sure I'm ready.
You've had to be so patient through the injury, and then patient, finding your way back
Yes,
in.
ma'am.
Are you getting antsy?
Yeah, I am. But just continue to be patient and just be ready when your name is called.
Saying and doing all the right things as he so often does. Keaton is a locker room guy. He's a good guy. And obviously he's being very transparent and honest about where things are at, saying and doing all the right things. But yet there's no question he's antsy. This is a dude who lit the league on fire when he was finally given an opportunity to do so in the second half of last year. I'm not saying they desperately need him right now, but it sure would be awesome to see the flavor that Keaton were to give this offense, even if it's only 5 carries a game. Mix it up a little bit. Get him involved. Use him as a decoy. He's not even dressing right now in recent weeks. And again, this is all about special teams. They are riding with Derrick Henry. They are riding, of course, with Justice Hill. And Rasheen Ali will serve as RB3 today. Yet again, the rookie out of Marshall. Let's go back to the guest lines and get your perspective, guys, on this. Mercedes, if you're there, we'll get you in. Chef and Manny, we'll get your thoughts on this as well. But in terms of the inactives, of course, Keaton is one of, I don't know if it's a surprise at this point because it happened prior to the bye week, but he's certainly notable, as is Adisa Isaac. The rookie is inactive for David Ajabo. Michael Pierce, I should mention that. Michael Pierce, having spent the last month plus on injured reserve, has been activated. He will be available among 5 interior defensive linemen. And again, while it may not be a necessity today, certainly going into Steelers week and certainly going into this home stretch. You want Big MP clogging up the middle and being that run stuffer specialist that he has made a career out of. By the way, Devontae Walker will be active, the rookie out of North Carolina at the wide receiver position. So let's see if they can run up the score a little bit and get Devontae some reps, because we have not seen very much of him, if any, at all on offense this year. To the guest lines we go. I appreciate you guys for being here. Over 400 of you concurrently watching as week 15 of this NFL regular season kicks off today. And for the 8-5 Ravens, of course, that's a 2-11 matchup with the New York Giants. Should be a get-right game. Mercedes, what say you? You got a prediction for us? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for calling in.
How's it going, David Carr?
Yeah, David Carr, Mel Gibson, whatever people want to call me these days, I'll lean into it.
Yeah, how we doing? I really think that I'm very confident that we're going to win today. But I just have that, that feeling that we might play down to competition, that we're just thinking ahead towards the Steelers. But genuinely, I don't think, the Italian guy's going to have anything to go around with this guy, number 0 in the middle, But I'd say my score is probably going to be like a blowout, kind of 17-31. I know our defense in the fourth quarter might be easing up, so that's where the 17 is going to go. But I know that we're going to take it seriously, I just hope that we don't play down to our competition like we've done in the Cleveland game last year.
And they've done it twice already this year.
Yeah.
At least twice this year. Vegas and Cleveland comes to mind, right? Those are the games that you kind of feel like, much like has hurt them in the past. To your point, they do play down to competition in the Lamar era. You can't do it today. This is a practice squad group that you're essentially going up against. Daniel Jones obviously has been he's no longer there. Drew Lock is banged up. You're going to go with Tommy Cutlets, to your point, or as you call him, the Italian guy. So that's where right? Think about where they're at as a franchise. You got a guy calling into my show referring to your starting quarterback as the Italian guy. So if that's not a sign of where they're at right now, I don't know what is. So all right, 31-17 is your prediction. Okay, brother. Enjoy yourself today. Thanks for the call, man. Mercedes. Guest lines are open, by the way, guys, as always. And like I mentioned, our Darius Washington, after being listed as questionable, will go today. So I'm expecting, as we've seen in recent weeks, he and Kyle Hamilton to handle duties on the back end at deep safeties. That means Bo Braid, by the way, with Marcus Williams down, is the next man up at safety. I know a lot of you have been highly, highly encouraged by Bo Braid, and you want to see him get an opportunity. He's been mostly special teams this year. We'll see if he gets some run today, especially if this score gets out of hand. Could this be a situation where the fourth quarter is all reserves, including Josh Johnson at quarterback? That would be the goal if you're the Ravens. And, of course, Sanusi Kane won't be available for this one either. The first super chat of the day has just come in, and Captain Hard, as he so often does, showing some love. He says, man, it seems like a lot of dysfunction with roster spots on both sides of the ball. Are you talking about in Baltimore? There has been a little bit. And that brings me actually to Diontae Johnson. We just learned a report on the suspended Ravens wide receiver who was not available, of course, throughout the week from a practice standpoint. And, of course, he's not available today. He was the wide receiver that the Ravens brought in prior to the deadline from Carolina, basically for nothing. And guess what? He's done nothing since arriving. Just one catch so far, 1 for 5, I believe. And he's caused issues. He's been a headache for this team, much like he was, by the way, in Pittsburgh. And, of course, Sarah and I spent a portion at the end of this past week talking about what happened with San Francisco on Thursday Night Football, where their linebacker, 49ers linebacker Devondre Campbell, refused to go into the game. And there were a lot of parallels between the two situations, at least from the outside looking in. What was handled differently by these teams was the following. The 49ers, their players, their head coach, eviscerated Campbell's actions, and now he's no longer on the roster. What the Ravens have done is the exact opposite. They have not viewed it as a distraction, at least publicly through the media. They have not been hyperbolic about it. They have not been outspoken about it. John Harbaugh has been stern about it. The DaCosta statement has been stern. And, of course, it was conduct detrimental to the team, refusing to go into the game when his number was called in that Philadelphia game. What hasn't happened, though, is a decision, at least till this point, in terms of what his future is with the team post-suspension. We may have just learned what that answer is a short while ago when Mike Garafolo of NFL Network had this to say on the pregame show earlier today from the Meadowlands.
Here at MetLife Stadium, where Tommy DeVito will play today for the Giants, Diontae Johnson will not play for the Ravens, serving that one-game suspension for a conduct detrimental to the team after the team said he refused to go into the game against the Eagles. But this is not like the Devondre Campbell situation with the 49ers from a couple of days ago. The hope is that Johnson, who is expected to return to the building on Monday, will find his way back into the good graces of this team and be a key contributing factor for them down the stretch. He only has one catch since they acquired him in a trade, and they're hopeful that that will change down the stretch. No reason to believe at this point that he won't suit up for the team again.
Okay, so Mike Garafolo of NFL Network sharing the following. Again, you just heard it there. Quote, this is not like the Devondre Campbell situation. The hope is that Johnson, who is expected to return to the building on Monday, which there were questions about, will find his way back into the good graces of this team and be a key contributing factor for them down the stretch. No reason to believe at this point that he won't suit up for the team again. Earlier this week, I shared a clip from Ryan Clark on ESPN, former Steeler, current ESPN analyst, former DB, who had a very, very hot take, heavy opinion, a lot to say about the Devondre Campbell situation, and also included Diontae in this same exact thought. Listen to this.
As a brotherhood, he should never play again.
Ever again?
Ever again?
Ever.
Why would you want him on your team?
So you're going to judge him in his... I have a hard time judging a man in his worst moment. It's been worse atrocities that happened on a football team than him refusing to go in. Well, so Diontae Johnson should never play again.
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Why would I want him on my team?
But I think...
Okay, chat. So this is the point where I want some audience participation, and we're going to go to Dre, Julian, Chef, and Manny in just a second here to get your thoughts on it. My question is simple. Even if it isn't like the Devondre Campbell situation, which it's pretty dang similar, both guys refused to enter the game when their numbers were called upon. My question is this. Should Diontae Johnson be a Raven after this suspension? Or are you done with him like Ryan Clark would be? He certainly didn't mince words there whatsoever. A lot of this has to do with internal. It should be, how will he be viewed internally? He has been a non-factor since coming here. He wasn't expected to be a factor. I know a lot of you are like, demote Nelly, demote Tylen. I know Manny doesn't want to demote Tylen. If our guy, Mr. Mexico City, was the head coach, Tylen would be the quarterback. He'd be the running back. He'd be the wide receiver. Just messing with him, Manny. We'll get you in here in just a second to respond. But Diontae was not expected to be a guy. He was expected to be a guy if there were injury. And you can talk about track record all you want. I don't care. What have you done for me lately? Diontae hasn't done jack for you or anyone lately. And to think that he had some sort of sense of entitlement that he would walk in here and play a prominent role, he was either miscommunicated with or just downright wrong. So I don't know what it is. I want to know from you, chat. Should Diontae Johnson be a Raven on Monday? Because it looks like national reports are sharing that he is absolutely going to be. I want to get your thoughts on it. Dre, we'll go to you. What's up, brother? Welcome in.
What up, man? Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely. Good to see you, dude.
Good to see you too, man. Look, so I feel like with the Diontae situation, I feel him, but I definitely also feel the team. Do I think he should be back? I think he should be back. However, don't bring him back if you don't have intentions on using him. And so that kind of leads also into the Keaton Mitchell inactivity on a Sunday against the Giants, right? Why not bring a Keaton Mitchell in? Because there's probably going to be some garbage time in this game, right? Probably going to be some garbage time. This would be a great game for Keaton Mitchell to come in, get his legs back a little bit, right? And then the other side of it is, Bobby, where is the creativity on the offensive side of the ball? There should have been four wide receiver sets. Bateman, Diontae on the outside, maybe Zay in the slot and maybe Tylen on the other slot, or, put Isaiah Likely in the other slot. And even in like a split back running back, why not have third downs be Keaton Mitchell on one side of Lamar and my brain is gone. And what's our other running back? God damn, why is my brain gone right now? King Henry or our other running back.
Justice.
Damn, what's wrong? Yes. So
my man was out last night. You had a couple old fashions last night, big dog?
I definitely was out last night. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, I definitely was out last night. But
that holiday
Keaton
party
Mitchell,
season buried Dre. Good God.
Keaton Mitchell, Derrick Henry in the backfield with Lamar in the middle. You can do fake handoff to Keaton to Derrick. Like, I just don't understand why the Ravens lack so much creativity on offense. It's an either or approach that the Ravens have had on offense for years. So it can't be that Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews goes off on both games. God forbid that happen. It can't be a game where Derrick Henry and Keaton Mitchell go off in one game. God forbid that happen. It has to be either or. And for me, I just don't understand their offensive approach at all.
They can get back to it today, provide a little bit of blend, get a lot of people involved, and obviously start a big stretch where they will play 3 games in 11 days. Dre, appreciate you, brother. I'm going to get to as many people as possible for the next 10 minutes and enjoy today. We'll catch up with you post-game, all right?
All right, take it easy.
All right, Dre, down south, baby. Captain Hard hitting me with some, how about this, 3 super chats so far from Captain Hard. He says, I don't know if I like the way they handle it. I like how the 49ers did it. I think it's a bad look, but I get it, just in terms of the Diontae Johnson situation. Again, 49ers came out and absolutely eviscerated Devondre, both players, his teammates, and coaches in Kyle Shanahan's perspective. Captain Hard says, also, can we please mix it up? Like every time Derrick Henry's on the field, we know they're running it. They can do all that and more today against a Giants defense that they should be able to run over. Chef, what's up, brother? Welcome in, dude. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. I just want to get out of the way. Obviously, my best friend's a Giants fan. We haven't talked much today for obvious reasons. I mean, the Ravens are going to put up 70. But
he probably hasn't talked much in months.
I just want to now he's not been talking much for months. He's either been like, we need to tank, or for some reason believing in Tommy Cutlets. So I mean, who knows? He's in a weird place right now. But to get to what you were saying for Diontae Johnson, I mean, should he still be a Raven? Yes. Again, when they brought him in, I was kind of so-so on the signing. I definitely thought probably by like week 11 or so, he was going to be doing a majority of Nelly snaps.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that one kind of goes back to what Dre Dog was talking about, how with Todd Monken, I love how Todd Monken has built the offense, empowered Lamar and whatnot, and is able to just like keep the offense, getting yards, great efficiency in the red zone and whatnot. But when it comes to getting weapons just involved, whether it's, your home run hitter and Keaton Mitchell, who has blazing speed and even since the injury still has blazing speed, or Diontae Johnson, who before we even traded for him has a whole lot of like yards of separation just with running his routes. So it's like, how are you not able to get him involved? So I understand Diontae Johnson's frustration with it. However, I don't agree with his execution of that frustration. Like, I don't agree with his actions. But at the end of the day, it's tough because you need all of these players to buy in, and if you're having seeds of doubt, seeds of frustration in the locker room, what's to say they won't quit on you in a play or something like that in the playoffs? Like it is what it is.
Appreciate the call, brother. Enjoy the game. We'll catch up with you post.
All right.
Chef Trez out. Let's bring P. Brown in. You out in the Meadowlands, dude? Where you at?
Oh man, no, I'm in Texas, man. I'm at church. I do security for church for service, man. That's all.
Nice. You're definitely a first-time caller, I think. So I appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
And what you got going on today? What do you think this one's going to shake out like?
Oh man, Ravens 45, Giants 13.
40 burger for the boys, huh?
For sure.
Well, I'm looking at the guy on the screen right now, the only one that's capable of burying him, and it's Malik Neighbors, their rookie wide receiver. And if you take him out of the game, I just don't know how they're going to move the ball.
Right. They have no way to really move the ball. I mean, they don't have a good quarterback. Even if Malik is doing good, you got to get somebody to get him the ball, right?
Neighbors is, I think we've all seen his viral clips online. He's pissed off to be there, and I would be too.
Exactly. The Giants, man, they just not doing, they're not doing well. But on the whole Diontae Johnson situation, again, I don't like the way he handled the situation. But why go get that guy if you're not going to use that guy? If you look at his career stats, he definitely should be no harm to bait. He could really definitely be wide receiver number 2, right? The only big difference is he doesn't have the offense under his belt, right? That's about the only thing. His body of work has spoken for itself. You know what I mean? Like, is he a number 1 wide receiver? No, he's not. But I think he's more than a sit on the bench, wait until somebody get hurt type of guy. Aguilar, great. He's done good for Baltimore since he's been there in some key moments. But when you bring a guy in that's talented like that, why not put him on the field to at least see what he can do, see if he can spark some stuff in your wide receiver game, especially with Lamar being able to now, pass the ball around to more people than Mark and Zay. He's looking for that. That's what he needs. He needs that extra guy that can create something on the field and bring some spark to the offense. Same thing like with Keaton. The title is Keaton's frustrated. Now he's a wash for the day. He's a healthy scratch, I guess. I don't know if something happened, but, he's not in the game. What are we saving him for? Todd Monken, be creative, man. Get these dudes involved in the game. The more that a defense has to worry about, oh, man, now they bringing these guys in. Now they got this guy here. Now they got, what are we going to do? The more you can throw at a team, especially at the point where they haven't seen Keaton all year, they really don't know too much about Diontae as far as being in the mix of the Ravens wide receiver group. The more you can throw at a defense and defensive coordinators to say, okay, what are they going to do with this guy? What are they going to do with that guy? The better.
The talent has never been questioned with Diontae Johnson. It's about the headache. He has always been a headache no matter where he is. The Ravens took a flyer on him. They barely gave anything up to bring him in prior to the deadline, and look what's happened. Not productive and been a complete headache, and obviously refused to play in that Philadelphia game. So a lot left to be learned about that situation, but as we learned earlier on, Mike Garafolo from NFL Network's reporting that he is going to be back in the building on Monday. So if he can provide a spark for them offensively and a little bit of depth to that wide receiver room, of course you want him around. It's just what's going on internally, and is there any feelings aside from his peers, his wide receivers, much like the sentiments were in San Francisco when Devondre Campbell pulled a similar stunt on Thursday night? That remains to be seen, but appreciate you calling in, man. Have a great day out there.
Thanks for everything you and Sir do, man. I watch y'all just about every day. This is the first time I've ever been on there live, though, man. Appreciate y'all.
I was going to say, you already know I love a good first-time caller, so stay safe out there. Enjoy the game, man. Talk to you.
All right.
Manny, let's bring in the interim coach down in Mexico City. There he is. Manny, my friend, good to see you. What's going on? Tell me about your Diontae thought, your prediction, and then we'll get out of here to get ready for this game.
Okay, my Diontae. Okay, it's going to be a long story, so sit down, grab the popcorn.
Hey, now, we don't have time. What are you on, Mexico time? What is this?
No. It's going to be quick. Not like in other situations, but okay. I understand his frustration. Bad way to actually say it out loud. It's like you don't do that of not going. If you want to protest that you're not, you go to the GM. If the head coach is not listening to you, you go, hey, you brought me in here to be a piece. I don't feel like I'm being a piece. Can you please talk to the head coach or the OC to involve me more? Because I'm wide receiver 2 material, but I've been used as wide receiver 5 or 6. So on that sense, it's like you don't do it that way. You should have done it, speaking to Eric. Score prediction. Not much a score prediction, but this is what I want. I want them to shut out the Giants. The Giants have no offensive power. Literally, even if Neighbors is there and he's complaining and everything, if you shut them out, at least that's a statement to not much of a statement, but much more so an emotional win for the defense. That's saying we stop a bad team for scoring points at us. And if we do that, we can carry on that momentum towards the Steelers. On offense, I want them to score a 50 burger. Not a 40, not a 30. I want a 50, 5-0. That's what I want to see. So if we don't shut them out and score 50 points, then I think you still have a lot of issues to cover against the Steelers, because the Steelers know that if you lose against them, it's going to be all road games, not even the wild card as a home one.
Well, it starts right now, Manny. The Giants will defer. Ravens lose the toss. Ravens are going to get the first possession here. And right from the jump, they can start to pound it.
Let me get the playbook ready.
There it is. He's ready to go. Make sure you get some
baby.
chewing gum as well. We need some chewing gum. And oh my God, look at
I need a cap and I need a sleeveless sweatshirt.
Look at the amount of open seats. Holy shit.
Oh, did you know last week was the $2 game over there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can get in there for $1. I mean, look at this. This place is no wonder why multiple people were inviting me to this place. Oh, man.
You All right. Go, Bobby. You should go. Yeah, there's no traffic.
I can get up there by halftime. Exactly. Oh, my God. New York has lost 8 straight games. There's seats everywhere in this place. Let's go watch, brother. Enjoy it, my friend.
All right. See you later.
Catch up with you post-game. We're literally moments away from starting this off. The kickoff is Graham Gano. I've never done a live play-by-play besides the preseason. So Graham Gano kicks it off. It's a windy day in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The 8-5 Ravens start the game. Who's in the back returning that? Who is that? It's a big-time return for the Ravens. Well out in front. That's Justice Hill with easily a 50-yard return. That's a 59-yard return for Justice Hill. That's the longest Ravens special teams kickoff of the season, and that's how you start it off. Justice Hill takes it. He almost took it to the house. A couple key blocks provided by several of his teammates. Wow. That's the way you started. How about Devontae Walker being involved in there as well? Okay, with that, we're going to jump because this game could get out of hand real quick, and I got to start making notes to get ready for postgame. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks to Primary Residential Mortgage for the support, for sponsoring this episode. Derrick Henry in the backfield to start. 1st and 10, inside the 40. Lamar takes it himself, dumps it off to Zay for an easy completion. By the way, Zay is closing in on 900 receiving yards. I feel like I should just stay on here and do the freaking play-by-play. I've never been on here this late. Lamar is 23-2, of course, in his career against the NFC, and this should be a dog-walking opportunity today based on how this game started. So with that, goodness gracious. I kind of want to stay on and do play-by-play, but I can't. Lamar did not just fumble. Did Lamar just fumble? Lamar fumbled it. Lamar freaking fumbled it on a keeper. Giants recover. So this is the type of thing. This is how an upset potentially happens, by the way. So after a massive start with an opening kickoff, 59 yards for Justice Hill, and then a completion to Zay Flowers, the Giants just forced a fumble. That's the type of inexplicable stuff that can't happen in a game like this. But that's how you give the Giants life. So with that, we got to go watch this game. It better not be an interesting one, but we got to go watch it. So appreciate you guys. I know some of you want me to keep going, but I got to go. I got to go take notes. I can't do both things at once. But that's not how you want to start the game, obviously, if you're the Ravens. So with that, enjoy the game, guys. I'll catch up with you post-game. Sarah and I will be on about 5 o'clock. All right, talk then.